Hey everybody, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader, and this, my darlings, is our daily pulse for Tuesday the 28th of April. Tiny is here, he's been ready and raring to go for the past 15 minutes. Haven't you, Tiny, waiting for Mummy to get out of bed? So, and it's funny because as soon as I sat down, Tiny, I knew it was going to be an important message. We've got today the card of our base of our reading, so we'll start looking at that before we move on to our key message, which is two cards here today. The Four of Swords with a clarifier, the Five of Wands actually, and then we have our, then we'll look at what's facing us, what might be hidden from our conscious minds today, and then finally, and last but by no means least, the blessing. So we start with the card at the base of the reading, and this is the energy of Temperance. Now there's a video in the Key Wisdom playlist all about temperance, which I recorded about a year ago. But it's still pertinent. It's very pertinent energy and quite strong energy, actually, temperance energy. It's the type of energy though that's kind of difficult to move with. It's a number 5. It's 14. It's number 5. Oh, Tiny's here. Oh god, that's not a good sign. Hello. Oh, you're all right. Oh no, he's all right. He's chilling. So it's a number 5. Tiny's looking at me funny. You're right, Tiny. Anyway, sorry. It's a number 5. So 1 and 4. So let's look at that first of all. So we know that a 5's are the number of power, the number of change, but they're also about finding our inner voice, expressing our truth, speaking our truth, clear communication really, and, being able to express ourselves with the energy of temperance, because it's, comes in that order though, 1 and 4. We know that 1 is the beginning and the initiation, a start of, and 4 is about our foundations and our structures. So it's about looking at our foundation structures, and it's about looking at our actions, what we're doing and why we're doing it. With temperance energy, it's very sobering energy, it's a truthful energy really, because it's about only doing what feels right, only saying what is the truth. When I spoke to you yesterday's daily pulse, and I spoke to you guys about my journey with PTSD and recovery from assault, and I spoke about that journey. And what happened was, for me, after I had gone through the acute phase, so after I'd had the counselling, CBT, started the meditation, so after the acute phase, so the first sort of 2 months of having the episode, or my doctor calls it breakdown, I call it a breakdown, doctor calls it an episode, but after that time period, it was like really obvious that I wasn't happy. So like, I was in my relationship, I was with him, as I said, for like just 6 years, and I wasn't happy. So I couldn't pretend that I was happy anymore. I wasn't happy in my job as a teacher. I couldn't pretend that I was happy anymore. So it was like, so it kind of got to the point where I was like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I don't want to get up, I ain't getting up. If I want to cry, I'm gonna cry. If I don't want to be around these people, I ain't going to be around these people. If I don't want to do this job, I ain't going to do this job. If I don't want to be in this relationship, I ain't going to be in this relationship. I'm only going to do what is right. I'm only going to act and move in the way that is a truthful expression of how I am feeling. That's the energy of the temperance. It's the energy of you've got to. It's not even about you've got to. There comes a point where once you know, you can't unknow. Once you realise that you ain't happy, you can't put that knowledge back in the box and kind of carry on pretending that you ain't happy. Yeah, that's what temperance energy is about. And actually, that's what's mirrored in our key message today. We've got the 4 of Swords and we've got the 5 of Wands. And we know, because I've told you so many times, and we've seen so many number 4s, it is the year of the number 4, it is 2020. So all the 4s are pertinent, and we've seen a lot of number 4s in the daily pulses, and it's just got to 4 minutes. Very funny. Very funny. Universe is funny like that. I love it. Anyway, so we know that number 4s are about, well, let's look at the world. This is the world that we've built. This is the life that we've built. These are the structures that we've built. This is the mindset that we have. This is the perspective that we have. Now let's investigate. That's what number 4 is about. It's about, this is the established way that I do things, this is the established way that I think, this is the established way, in 2020's case, that we live. Now let's investigate that. And that's what number 4 is about. Remember, number 4, the death card, 1, 3, 4, that's about transformation. Yeah, so it's because it helps us to transform, it helps us to shift those structures, just like Corona will do, no doubt. This is literally the corona. This is like corona here. This is 2020 right here. But no, it really is, and that's what we're doing. And we know with our sword energy, we know it's about our awareness, our conscious mind. It's about our perspective, as I said, what we think, what we believe, how we perceive things. So what does make up your perspective, what does make up your thoughts, what does make up your ideas. And I'll tell you, those things, we know with the Four of Swords, it's our meditation card, it's depicted on the card very, very clearly in this instance. But we know that to do that, to have that type of investigation, to sort of be reflective, we know that what does that do? It means that we're shifting our energies, doesn't it? It means that we're focusing more. We're becoming more aware. We're increasing our awareness. And what happens is it brings about change. That type of self-reflection is what brings about change. And this is what we see today. We see that the self-reflection that we have brings about change. And there's going to be none of that fake stuff going on today. Temperance tells us this. Remember, this is about the 5th house. This is about I speak, I express. This is about your inner voice. This is about speaking from your truth. And we know that with Temperance, you ain't pretending you ain't pretending. You ain't pretending that, oh yeah, I'm happy, I'm smiling, yeah, everything's all right. Listen, if it ain't all right, you're going to start saying it ain't all right. You're going to start allowing yourself to know that in your mind. You're going to start confronting that. Because as we said, the way that we grow is to know. Feeling is healing. Listen, how many more of my little sayings you want me to pull out the bag, guys? Yeah. Feeling is healing. If you don't know, you can't grow. And that's really what's going on today. This is that the energy of change always starts from within, people. It always starts from within. It always starts with the wisdom of our divine, the wisdom of our divine feminine that helps to bring about those changes. And that happens on the inside. First of all, that understanding comes from our divine feminine, and then it seeps up to our divine masculine, which is depicted here and here. It seeps up to our divine masculine, and we become conscious of that. We become conscious of these changes. We become conscious of these truths. We become conscious of these struggles. And sometimes that conscious me knowing, oh my gosh, I'm in this, like me, for example, I'll use my own example that I used previously. So me, for example, when I was in the relationship and I got past the cute phase, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, do you know what? I ain't happy in this job. I ain't happy in this relationship. Once it comes out. It changes your actions, doesn't it? And it can create conflict. So sometimes people say this creates conflict, but it's definitely in a conflict. And it's because we're facing up to things, we're seeing things. It's unavoidable truths. And I love the unavoidable truths because we can either accept the unavoidable truths and those can help us to heal and to expand and to grow and to come into enlightenment. We can accept the unavoidable truths that you're going to be coming into contact with today about your own perspective, about your own way of perceiving yourself, about the way that you perceive your experiences, etc. You can accept those truths, and we'll see when we get to what's hidden, or we can reject them. We can do the 7 of Swords stuff, or the 2 of Swords stuff, which is I'm 2 of Swords. Yeah, I know, but I know that I'm not happy, but I'll just crack on. I'll just stay where I'm at. Or 7 of Swords is, no, it's not that bad. No, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. So we'll see when we get to what hidden, how we sort of respond to it. But there's unavoidable truths today that can really bring about transformation and healing. Remember, this card, Temperance, is about our healing. We've got the 2 cups here. We've got this is our divine masculine, our divine feminine, really, being emphasized here. And this is the alchemical symbol, actually, of, hang on, the upside down way is enlightenment. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's the right one. Upside down way. Anyway, so it brings about our enlightenment to have these type of discussions with ourselves. So we move on now to what's facing us today, and we know that, and that's the King of Pentacles. So we know that the Pentacles energy, Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. I always tell you that. We know that the Pentacles energy are all about, first of all, manifesting security. So the energy that we put in, the things that we do to create security and to create stability in our lives, to create abundance also in our lives. So we know that that's what the Pentacles energy generally refers to. The masculine side is the actions that we take. So the as I said, the things that we're doing, and this is really what's facing us today. It's about what we are doing to ensure our security. So you've got to think about it. You've got to remember that there's a sort of, it's kind of indirect. I was thinking about this yesterday, that karma is very indirect. So for me, when I was, what you'd think that if you were wanted to, I don't know, make a lot of money, for example, that you would do the thing that provide you with that money. So for example, like me being a teacher, so I had a very good job. Shout out to one of my pupils who watches every day, my ex-pupils who watches every day. That job was a very secure job. So I had a salary. I was earning, I don't know, I can't remember how much it was. It's over 20 grand, obviously. I've been teaching for 10 years. So I had a fixed salary, I had a fixed job, I had that security. We won't talk about the relationship, but I had a fixed relationship. We had a, house together and, life together, etc. So that was my security. So what I should have done, what you would say is that, Ruth, you have that sort of, you get over that, you recover like that, then the right thing to do to ensure your security, Ruth, is to continue to do this job, because this job provides you with a steady income, it's a respected profession, I love what I do, etc, etc, etc. I love the kids really, etc, etc, etc. That's what you think you would do, but karmically, I knew by that point that wasn't ensuring my security, because I knew that the actions that I was putting in to secure this life, to do this job, to stay in this relationship, were actually creating a lot of this inside me. I was actually fighting against myself. By doing that, I was fighting against my nature, by trying to sustain this lifestyle, by trying to uphold it. Because actually I had a nervous breakdown doing that work. It wasn't the job, obviously, it was my life and everything, what went on as we spoke about yesterday. But ultimately, I chose a different path. I chose a more, I don't have a fixed income now, obviously. I don't have a fixed income. I didn't after that time. I quit my job that years ago. So, I didn't have a fixed income. It was fluctuating. I could have earned, I had less money. I wasn't sure. Sometimes I had more, sometimes I had less. I didn't have, all that stuff went on. There was uncertainty. However, karmically, I learned that the security comes from freedom, that my freedom, my truth was actually ultimately the thing that provided me with security. So it can be quite sort of, sometimes seems counterproductive when you actually behave karmically, when you actually follow the karmic path, because the karmic path is about awareness. It's about bringing you into awareness and bringing you into awareness of the fullness of the nature of your reality. And my reality, the thing that is the constant in my reality, is what I feel. And I'm very sensitive and I'm very intuitive. And so I've got to follow that gift. I've got to follow that side of myself. So, you guys, there might be some of that today where you've got to really think about, where you are thinking about, your security and the actions that you're putting in to sustain that, to uphold that. True security, you could say that having a regular job, a regular income and a regular relationship, you could say that is a way to ensure security. But actually, karmically, i.e. the lesson that I learned was, the things that I was doing was actually creating a huge amount of instability for me. So living that way, doing that job, being in that relationship, actually created a huge amount of instability for me, because I wasn't living truthfully. And that's the kind of questions and the things that some of us are fighting against that today. I fight against that today because I know YouTube's changed, man, but I know, how YouTube works and sort of, how to get the money in and blah, 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 and how to get the views up and blah, blah, blah. Like, I know how to do that. And what I do now, what I'm actually doing now, isn't the way to do it. However, for me, this is my truth. So I've got to live that way. Like, I can't follow the money. I know that following the money is not the way to go, because it doesn't actually ultimately bring me security. And that it's those type of questions that you are reflective of today and that you're coming into that awareness of today. So let's have a look then at how we're responding to this. So this is what's hidden. This is what's hidden today. Whoa, my word. Well, I've already told you, Anna. I've already told you. And I don't lie to you guys. Yeah, I deal the cards, I turn them over, what you see, I see, so I didn't see this card. But I've already told you, haven't I? So this is what we're doing today. We're coming into that awareness. And it's hard. It is hard. It is really hard. That is what faith is, you know. Believe me, 31 years old, living, you know, in a relationship, a long-term relationship, having that job, you know. He was a firefighter. Well, he still is a firefighter. He doesn't watch these readings, but hey, if you're watching, Wes, hey, we're still friends. Anyway, you know, living in that way, I had a secure job, but I wasn't happy. And it doesn't matter. It does, and it's not that it was him that wasn't making me happy, or no one else can make you happy. You gotta make you happy. Yeah, that's something else I've learned. But I did that for so long, where I was like, it's fine. Teaching's fine, like it's fine. And I loved, the thing that kept me in teaching was the kids, to be fair. They are the treasures. I love them because you learn so much. And actually, children, when you teach children, and some of you will be knowing that with the homeschooling now, the beautiful thing about teaching, I mean, my kids were 11 to 18. I still call them kids, but anyway, they're 11 to 18, my kids. But they teach you truth. You see yourself every day. I couldn't lie to them, you know. You know, there's kids in poverty that I were teaching. There's kids who had severe traumatic experiences, and I'm getting them to write, let's write 3 sentences or blah blah blah, like as if that's important. It isn't important. It's important, but we should be helping them to understand that you're sat here and it's hard for you to concentrate because of the things that you're going through at home, not because the work's necessarily difficult. There needs to be outlet for that. So anyway, they teach you truth. That's what standing in front of kids every day teach you truth. That's what it teaches you. That's what it taught me. But you do a lot of this. I mean, I was a teacher for 10 years, so you do a lot of this. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. I'm all right, you know. Everything's good, you know. We have this, and it's absolutely healthy, this energy. It's absolutely healthy, this energy. It's nothing to be ashamed of, you know. It's nothing to be frightened of. It's nothing to sort of resent. This is a normalcy bias, and this is absolutely how we do respond when we're going through, you know, like now, these emotional breakthroughs. These are breakthroughs in our awareness, these breakthroughs with our experiences and our traumatic experiences. It can be difficult and challenging to face up to them. And this energy is supportive because it kind of nurtures us toward that 9 of Swords, toward that realization, or the dark night of the soul energy, when everything's exposed. It nurtures us to that place, because what we're doing is, even though we're saying everything's fine, we actually know on a level that things are not fine. We know on a, not fine, the same, or whatever it is for you. I mean, you know, again, these are personal things that we're all going through right now, very idiosyncratic. So everyone's going to be different. So for some people, it's going to be looking at past trauma. For other people, it's going to be reacting to the current crisis and reacting to, you know, for others, some of us are having a lot of people are having those awakenings where they're recognizing, coming into grappling with their gifts, with their sensitivities. So it's going to be different for everybody. And we need energies like this. Quite frankly, that's why they exist. We need energies like this to help, to support us to get to that next point. It helps to soothe us, we soothe ourselves really with this energy. We soothe ourselves. It helps us to get to the next bit, to the next piece of awareness. We can say, no, it's fine, everything's fine. But even by putting that energy in, what we're doing is we're recognizing that I have to tell myself this. I have to tell myself that everything's fine. I have to tell myself that everything's okay. I have to tell myself that teaching's the right job for me, or that this is the right relationship for me. I have to tell myself that. Because by acknowledging that, with number 7 of Swords, you're acknowledging that you need to tell yourself that. And that in itself is increasing your awareness of the true state of your mind, of your conscious mind. So it's a beautiful thing, really. So yeah, you know, I already talked about, I didn't see it, but I knew it were coming. Okay, so let's look at the blessing. Don't say it's 10 of Wands. No, we've got Page of Wands. So we've got a wand energy. So this is good. So the blessing today is, again, I love the fact that we are still engaging. Now, I forgot to say, actually, the kings and the pages and the queens, etc., they all represent change or elements of change or maturing awareness in a specific area. So in this instance, maturing awareness of what I do, how I manifest, what I want to do, what makes me feel secure. That's maturing awareness in King of Pentacles. This is maturing awareness in feeling your way through things, feeling the way that you want to go, responding to your urges, responding to your awareness, responding to those feelings. This is what this energy is. So this is about you becoming more engaged with responding to how you're really truly feeling. So we see that again repeated. These energies are so supportive of each other, really, because we only move truthfully with the temperance energy, and it's that truth movement. Truth movement. I might call the reading truth movement. It's that truth movement that is healing. So it's by feeling our way, if you will, with temperance, that helps us to heal, that helps to reveal, that helps us to understand more, that helps us to see what the next step is, by only doing what feels right in this moment. And this is that energy of that, really. Ultimately, we're feeling our way. Now, we always say about the pages, we don't know we ain't the king yet, so we don't know what the outcome of our energy of our input is going to be. We don't know where this is leading us. So I didn't know when I started meditation where this was leading me. I did not know where it would lead me. And I'm not saying it's obviously, I'm not saying you're on the same path, but it's that type. I'm just saying the pages do not know. But the pages go with what feels right, with what I'm connecting to, with where the direction I feel that I need to go. I'm going to put energy into that space. I'm going to react to that. I'm going to respond to that. This is what we're doing today. So you're starting to notice. You're starting to notice more. We've been saying this for the last week, haven't we? Now you're starting to notice more about your responses. You're hearing your emotions more. You're hearing your conscious mind more. You're feeling yourself. You're responding to the energies more. You know, we've all been tired, haven't we? We've all been, you know, we're in this wave and we're responding to it. And this is what the blessing is. The blessing is you're noticing. This is what this tells us. It just tells us that we're in the beginnings now of, not the beginnings, but maybe the beginnings of starting to act on the thing, because it's masculine as well, so it's action. So we're in the beginnings of starting to act, on our responses, you know. So we notice how that makes us feel. So I'm triggered, for example, that triggered me, that person triggered me, or that film triggered me, or, you know, that got me angry, or that got me upset, or that made me think about this memory. That's the reaction, if you will, the instinctual reaction. Now let me investigate that. Now let me look at that. Now let me reflect on that. Now let me reflect on that response. Now that's what you do. So this is the beginnings of really starting to firm up, if you will, some of the wisdom that we've been gaining, and some of the sensitivities that has been increasing. We're starting to firm up some of those responses now. They're starting to become, as I said, clearer for us, you know. And that is something that we graduate. Obviously we realize we saw him already, didn't we? The King of Wands, you know, that helps us to mature, that helps the feelings to become stronger, that helps the truth to become louder for us. And that's the thing that ultimately that should guide our direction in life. The thing that should guide us is the thing that should be guiding us is the truth, is our truth, is my truth, is your truth as an individual. So even though the world is built the way it is, Year of the Emperor, the world is built the way it is, and these are the structures that we've learned to live within, and these are the institutions that we and the institutional beliefs that we all carry, that we all have. I still need to do what I feel and understand and know is right for me. So that feels appropriate for me and for where I'm at. And as I said, at times like this, it's an interesting time, obviously, but at times like this, it's good. I mean, my friend said to me, you know, they said, you know, how will coronavirus change us? And he said, I think that it will make us less selfish. And I said, you know what? I said, I can't actually disagree with you. I think that we are not selfish. I think that we're all way too accommodating of people. We're all way too accommodating, so we don't tell people the truth. We don't behave authentically. We're always looking for these status symbols. We always live up to these expectations of society. We don't, you know, I mean, you've seen my hair. I mean, you know, your ex-pupil, he'll tell you, where I used to have long hair, you know, long hair. And I was like, listen, these beauty standards, man. So I lived up to those beauty standards like many black women do with their hair. And anyway, so what I'm saying is that's how the world is. And I think we're not selfish. I think we're the opposite of selfish as humans, actually. We all uphold, we all agree on what's right, and we all live that. Now what's good is that we can be selfish. What's good now is that we can be selfish, because what you can think about is yourself. You can think about you for a blooming change. You can think about you. You can think about doing something, not because people can see you doing it. You can think about doing something just because it feels nice to you, not because it's going to get you bloody likes on Twitter or whatever, or not because it's going to get you a promotion. You're just doing it because you want to do it. It ain't going to earn you any money, but you're going to do it because you enjoy doing it. That is being selfish. So in a way, I praise the fact that we all get the time now to be selfish. So, you know, usually, and think about it, you know, usually we are not selfish. Usually we are all thinking about everybody else, about, oh my God, that I shouldn't sing in public because people will think I'm strange, so I won't sing in public. That just helps everyone else feel safe and secure. You know, I won't raise my voice at this. I won't tell them the truth. I won't say, because that will make everyone else feel safe. That's what we usually do out in the world. Now, during 2020, in our lockdowns, we can all be selfish. We can all do what we want. We can all respond to how we feel. Finally, I think we need it. I think that the world needed a time where they could actually notice how they're blooming feeling and respond to it, as opposed to always being so concerned with upholding the standards and the structures that were already created long before any of us lot were born. Long before any of us lot were born, they were created. I mean, think about it. You know, we still, anyway, you know, I'm going to go off on a tangent. I'll just say it quickly. But we still live now, today, in year 2020, we still live with the same rules that Plato and Aristotle and all these ancient Greece and ancient Egyptians, ancient thoughts, we still live. And same with religion, obviously. We still live with those rules now. This is why it's so hard for people to be themselves. This is why people still have a problem with people who are gay or who are LGBTQ plus people, because it's been ingrained for the last how many thousands of years since Roman Catholicism became I'm a Roman Catholic, became the religion of the Roman Empire. Was it Constantine or Christoph? It was Christoph. Anyway, one of the emperors, they decided, right, we're gonna stop this paganism now. We want everyone to think the same. We want everyone to have the same beliefs, because then it's easy to tax, isn't it? It's easy to control. So all those beliefs, and I don't think there's anything. Anyway, it's not that we should get rid of them all. It's not that people shouldn't believe in God. It's not that we need those things in life, clearly. However, we don't realise still, we do, even our politics, even the Senate, that was in ancient Rome, and we still live those rules now. You know, you get the opportunity in 2020 to actually see the structures that we live in, and we get to be selfish. We get to actually respond to, how do I feel about this? You know, how do I feel about this? Who am I? Like, who am I in all this world, in all this stuff that I'm meant to be? Who actually am I? You know, in all this stuff, you know, I'm a woman. So it's one thing, you know, I mean, it's one thing being a woman, obviously, so you're a woman, so then there's all these standards about what you should look like, what you should dress like, what you should speak like, what your hair should be like, you know, what your figure should be like, what you should eat, how friendly you should be, how caring you should be your mother, you should be your wife. There's all that for a woman. Then there's the all on top of it for a black woman. Oh my gosh, you can't even sing it, sisters. I mean, you know, as a black women are too loud, you know, we're too honest, confrontational. So because you're told these things, you've got to fit in. Then what about if you're a man? I mean, I was saying the other day, I think that politicians give us all a bad name. I think that it's really the masculinity. You know, it's not really that a politician has to be infallible, has to be intelligent, has to be never wrong, has to be righteous. It's that a man has to be that way, because female leaders around the world, look at Ardern, look at Merkel, the female leaders around the world are doing things slightly differently, we see. So it's interesting, isn't it? I think, anyway, what I'm saying is there's all these structures that we live in, that we live with, that we live in and that we uphold, that we didn't even create, but we sustain. And that's the truth. That's the truth that we all uphold. Well, actually, I think it's good that we all unselfishly uphold. Well, now what is good in a way about 2020 as it's unfolding is that we actually get to notice our own responses, that we actually get to listen to what we think, to what we feel, to what we understand. We actually get to investigate some of our beliefs. We actually get to investigate, why do I think that? You don't think that because that's who you are. As I said, you are who you are today because of everything that's happened. You can change. That's always something that's changing constantly. You are who you are because of everything that's happened since you've arrived and who you were when you got here. So all the things that are fed to us, couples should be a man and a woman, and a family should be, people should get to a certain age and then have children, and, you should aspire to be a homeowner, you should aspire to be this, you should aspire to be that, everyone's telling you what to aspire to. Do you know what? The freedom of 2020 is you can be, you can feel, you can respond, you can be who you are. And that's the freedom of today. You get to be who you are. You get to notice who you are. And it might be difficult for some of us to come to those conclusions. You get to, but that's the message of the day. It's about getting to know yourself today. And that getting to know yourself, that awareness, ultimately is what brings in security, and ultimately is what brings in our healing. Okay, my darlings. Okay, I did have to go off on a tangent. I like my tangents. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I will see you all again tomorrow with your brand new Daily Pulse. Enjoy your Tuesday, my lovelies. Take care. Bye.